Hey everyone's Pick for Life. Back at it for the second time in a week. I haven't done two in a week in, I don't know, I feel like years. But we're back. We're here with the latest from Mastermind Creations, their reformatted R42C. That's the Continuum version of D-Zef, the Emperor. And as you can see, this is a retool, remodel, recolor, whatever you want to call it, of their Deathsaurus that had released earlier this year. Packaging wise, this looks amazing. This artwork looks so sick. I don't know who did the artwork for this one. I don't know if it's what's it called, Chigo King or not. It doesn't look like his typical style, so I don't think it's him, but it looks fantastic. The box on the side, really nothing else, just all the labels and stuff like that. You have a little bit of his alt mode, which is horizontal on the back. It looks really, really great. I really appreciate the artwork, and you can see that they have both the breast masters this time. So the previous release only had tiger breast and not eagle breast. This one has both, and this is supposed to be in the G1 style. So their Continuum line is always kind of in their G1 style. McClutierg. Okay, I think I finally will get at least a little bit close. So out of the box. Whoa, where is it? Okay, so this is kind of what he looks like out of the box. He has his clamshell. He also comes with the instructions and a bunch of accessories, which I took out of the baggies because these baggies that are taped on here are kind of a pain to deal with. So I took them out. We'll look at them here. So he has the blaster, as you can see here, his mace and chain, which is actual metal. He has his shield / tail. He has two of his sword, I guess, holders. I don't even know what to call them. They're mounts, but one is for each of the modes, robot mode and alt mode. He has his alternate face right here. It's kind of a smiling face. And then he has his sword, which looks really great. Let's look at the paperwork very quickly. Oh, the other thing he comes with is a small screwdriver here. And that's for installing the wings. We'll go through that. But right here, you have his instruction manual. Unlike most of the other reformatted line, it doesn't have the comic book attached, but it's just the instructions. So it's much smaller than you would normally see. The transformation is by and large the same. There's one area here, especially with this horn, that I can't figure out how to do without collision. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the way I'm doing it or not, but we'll go over that. And then you can get the extra instructions for eagle breast, which we didn't get before. Let's see here, the stack card. Hey G Tony, how's it going? Let me just say hi. Hey Grimlock, Transpan 365, Mecha's Reviews, Starscream's Ghost. Let's see. Big M, I said hi to you earlier. So I think I got everyone. Hey, Antoine stopped by earlier before the actual stream went live. Yeah, so the stack card here is nice plastic. He's basically all 10s except 1 9 in courage. So move that out to the side. All right, so this is a multi-layered clamshell. Hey Frank, how's it going? So the first layer has D-Zef himself. He's basically already in robot mode, but we do have to flip out his heel, which, as with most MMC reissues or re-releases, remolds, I find that the tolerances here are all better adjusted, or maybe tighter at least, across the board. So we'll see that with this figure as well. You just need to split the legs. And then other than that, the only thing you kind of need to do is install the wings. So we'll get to that in a second. Let me just get him stood up real quick. And then the second layer is just the wings. So the wings here, these are completely remolded to be more G1. As you can see, it has a really nice gradient to it. So it's like more red and then gets to the orange lighter here. It looks really good. Somebody in the comments I did see briefly come up say that they thought the original was a little too light, but then when they got it in hand, it looked better. This one is definitely darker, so we'll take a look at that in a second. Where are the screws here? So yeah, I had these screws. I had already had them attached before, but to install this, you basically just open up these little flaps here. Both of these wings are identical, so it doesn't matter which one goes on which side. All you do is press these on. And you could probably get away without even screwing these in, but obviously you want to just secure them. So you're going to just use this mini screwdriver. I'm going to use a larger one just because it's a little bit easier and it has a magnetic tip. But yeah, all you do is screw these on. Don't overly tighten them or strip them, but just enough just to keep them on. Like I said, the friction itself should keep them on. And depending on how you position them, you close these up and they're sandwiched between these two halves, and they're not going anywhere if you have them positioned like this. All right, very quickly, let's do a quick 360 of him before we get into the review. So he looks really nice. He's much darker. I'll show a side-by-side comparison of the earlier release, but let's do a quick 360 of him. He does look nice. He does have more of a G1 look. Some of the colors are vastly different. Like you can see, he's much darker here with the blues and reds. In general, just darker all around. What were previously kind of like gold pieces or kind of a dark, almost like a bronzy gunmetal. Same thing with the wings here. Everything is just slightly darker colored. The head sculpt itself is vastly different. Again, more G1-ish, and you'll see that with the alt mode as well. So let me very quickly bring out his IDW counterpart, just so you can see just how different the colors are. And this original one does really mimic the comic stylings and coloring that we saw in More Than Meets the Eye in the IDW line. And you can see the remolded wings. Similar to the other one, original one, he does have adjustable wings, but it's in these three type of panels as opposed to these kind of feathery type here. But the articulation is the same. One quick thing that I will note is that this original release had claws for fingers, his robot mode fingers, as you can see here. Can you see? Sorry, I was standing up. So yeah, you can see that these have claws while the G1 version just has rounded thumbs and fingers. I don't actually know how accurate that is. But yeah, I really do like the head sculpt of the IDW version with the multiple like eyes kind of being more front and center as opposed to kind of up here, making it look like a bird beak. But in any case, you can see very different in terms of coloring. Even some of the molding back here, there's a piece that on this side kind of splits right here and comes together. That's completely gone. It's just one stuck piece. And then all this part up here is all silver now. So yeah, we'll get this guy out the way and continue forth. Articulation-wise, he's essentially the same, right? There's no real difference here. I had hoped that they would have made an improvement to the mold. One of the big complaints, and really one of my only complaints, was that this doesn't lock in at all in robot mode. And it's a shame because it looks like it has tabs here, or slots here. And if they just extended these pieces, I think they would slot in, but I don't know why they didn't do that. So nothing really holds it in place aside from the breastmasters, which tab into this chest here, but that only holds this front part. It doesn't hold the neck panel. So articulating the neck and head basically makes it come up. I mean, that's still a real bummer here. But his head is on a ball joint and on that panel. You can look basically all the way around. Let's get his chest out the way. His shoulders are nicely ratcheted. You can hear that. You can go up to the side, close to 90 degrees. He has a 360 bicep swivel. He has a double jointed elbow. He has wrist swivel. Let's see here. What else does he have? Oh, his fingers are all individually articulated with 3 joints. So one at the base, one at this knuckle here, and a third pin joint there. So all of them are individual. His thumb is just one ball peg base piece and one pin joint there. At his waist, he can go 360, just friction. And he actually has an ab crunch, which has like kind of 3, I think 3 or maybe 2. 1, yeah, so 3 total, including the straight that they kind of lock into. They're kind of ratcheted, I guess you could call it, which is nice. His hip skirts move out the way on the forward, side, and back. He has nice ratchets. You can go up about 90, go back close to 90, and then go out to the side 90. He has double jointed knees. He gets almost like a 45-degree angle here, so more than 90, like 130, 135-ish. His knee pieces move a little bit. They're not really for articulation purposes. As you can see down here, he does have a nice ankle tilt. He does have die cast. This whole gray section here is die cast, nice and heavy and cool to the touch. He has that heel pivot that we transformed earlier, and then he has a toe pivot. And then while his whole foot is supposed to be locked into place with this tab here going into the front, you can unlock it to make use of this, I guess, for any articulation needs you might have there. Is there anything else? I think, thigh swivel. Totally forgot about that. And then coming back to the wings, we kind of showed it before, but there's a swivel here at that black piece, and then a separate swivel that we joined earlier with the screw. Then each of these pin joints can separate, and then you can open that up to get it out all the way 90 degrees. So a good amount of articulation there. All right, accessory-wise, let me actually do the weight again. I know I did the weight before, but it should be pretty similar. He is actually quite heavy for one of the MMC figures because he does have die cast, and he is pretty large. I haven't generally been doing like height measurements, but I know a lot of people have been asking if this is an MP scale. This is not MP scale. He is 1 pound, 10 ounces, which is 732 grams. For those of you using metric. Height-wise, let me get a tape measure. I should do that because I know a lot of people are curious about the height of figures and where they scale. So he's about 10 inches to the top of the head, somewhere near there, or top of the crest. So there you have it. Accessory-wise, we've already talked about the weapons. They are pretty traditional, old school, like, hey Frankie, how's it going? MP style grips with the tabs and slots, so you can only hold it one way. You can't hold it this way. And then you just come in here, tab that in. Very secure. I will say that the gun is kind of odd. That I feel like it doesn't tab in straight, at least on his right hand. I think on my left hand, yeah, my left hand it works well, but on my right hand it's slightly molded weird, I think, so it doesn't hold it exactly straight. It's hard to describe. You probably won't even be able to notice it, but you can for me, I can definitely feel it. It doesn't feel as secure, like it wants to pop out, and I need to get the fingers wrapped around. See, this one doesn't want to stay in easily. Oh, there we go. But it's definitely weirder. The mace doesn't have any kind of tab or anything like that, so you just grip it with friction. And then it has this weird storage mode where you can slide this into the slot of the gun. And then in the instructions, I think they show with these 2 tabs and the holes here, you're supposed to push it in this way. It makes it really hard to grip just because there's not a lot of clearance here. So you want to grip it first and then put it on if you want to store it this way. I think it looks kind of goofy, but if you want, you can do that. His shield or tail, it just splits open. It's just a couple of tabs, and it has a post here that you can tab into either of these shoulders, like so, to get that G1 look. What else do we have? Oh, these two sword holders. So if you come to the back here for robot mode, you just use this one with the two tabs, and then you slide this down like so. And then we'll show it off in, well, I guess we can show it off now. I mean, it really doesn't make sense for this to be in beast mode or his alt mode, but you put this on and you can tab it onto his leg. This will end up being his leg. We can show that off later. All right, the only other thing that there really is to show is his face. And I'm not going to actually disassemble everything because I showed this before. But what you do is you unscrew the head. Oh, it seems to be different. Last time you had to unscrew the head, but I don't know if you can do it this way this time. I wonder if you just pop it off. Yeah, previously you had to maybe just do it by friction this time. Oh, no, I took off the crest. As you can see, I clearly did not test this before, but I'm pretty sure on the last one you had to split the head to get them. Okay, well, we'll figure this out later. All right, let's go ahead and go with transformation. First thing we'll do is just take care of the breast masters. So you can see it's tiger breast connected to eagle breast, which is different than the previous one that just had tiger breasts. So they're just tabbed in together to tabbed into the chest, as I showed before, with these two tabs on the blue parts and this longer tab that goes in here. And then these two tabs go into eagle breast. Very simple transformations, kind of cassette-ish. You just want to pull this down like so, and then pull these out, and then rotate these black pieces so that they're facing straight. These end up being kind of like the blasters. On the underside, you unfold the tail, you bring out the talons, and then you have to rotate the little eagle head out. So yeah, you get a decent amount of articulation, I guess, for something this small. You can bring his wings all the way forward or even crossing if you want, depending on how you use these black sections. And then he has bends here and bends here, like so. And the feet or talons, as you saw, have one pin joint at the base of the body and then one at kind of the ankle. Tails you can only basically fold out. Nothing really interesting there in the head you saw with the transformation joint. No mouth or anything like that. So we'll put him off to the side. All right. With tiger breast, you just fold up the wings like this. Come to the underside here. You're going to pull supposed to pull, well, let me get the arms out the way. It'll be a little bit easier to get. Do that, and then pull this whole chest section forward, and then his whole back half of the body is connected and folded up in there. You want to uncurl this or fold this out while rotating the hips 180 degrees. You can fold out the tail before you straighten everything out. Close up the chest. Position the forearms or front legs, and then the hind legs, like so. You just have to twist the ankle, the hind leg ankles, 180 degrees. And articulation for him is just his wings can go up and down as you like. His mouth does open, and he has little shiny teeth and red eyes. He has a ball joint at each of the four leg shoulders. One pin joint at kind of the elbow, another one at kind of the ankle, and then a rotational hinge there On the back, kind of the same deal, except he actually has more articulation because it's on kind of like a ball peg. So that ball peg is on a pin joint, ball joint in the hip itself, a joint here, and then rotational at the ankle again. Tail can move up and down a little bit using the transformation joint. And then the abdomen area has kind of a crunch, again, making use of that transformation joint. That's it for the Breastmasters. We'll put them off to the side. All right, getting to the main figure itself. Let's see how it goes. Let's get this out of the way. You're going to form the tail. Just fold the two halves together. You have tabs on either side all the way down that correspond to one another. Like so. Now we're going to deal with the legs. The legs are super easy. You want to fold up the heel. Man, this is super tight. And then you want to push this little pointy piece right here. You want to push that forward when you untab this section here. Don't want to pull it down because then you'll run into interference and you'll scratch that piece up. So again, push it upwards. You'll go like this. And then this tab will go into this gray slot in the front, like so. We'll open up this section in the back of the leg, make use of those double jointed knees to get all the way around, fold this up, and then fold this kneecap down like so. So very easy transformation. Same thing will go on the other side. Remember to push this piece up. Untab the blue piece, make it go forward. This kind of sits in that groove. This will tab into the gray die-cast piece, and you can fold up the heel. Come to the back, open up the back of the leg, the calf. Rotate all the way in using the double joints. Close that up. Flip up this kneecap piece. And then, here, let me scooch this down a bit. And then we're using these tabs on these circular pieces to tab in right here. You want to have this colored purple piece facing upwards. Just tab one side, and then you'll just close up both legs. So there's a series of tabs on both sides, as well as the one on the foot that will go into the tail. There we go. All right, I think I got everything. Okay, yeah, there we go. You got kind of have a hybrid mode here. The arms have a locking joint, so apparently they made improvements to this from the original one. So if you guys remember the original release, a lot of figures came with some pieces popped out of this joint, and people had like missing pieces or shoulders that were not connected out of box. I was told that they've improved this. So what you go do is flip up the arm, and there's a little circular button right here. You press that to bring this and unlock this forward. Before you rotate it all the way down, it's easier to show you on the back here. This joint is actually a telescoping joint, so you want to slide this out. So you can see there. If you don't do that, you won't be able to rotate it past this point. You'll see there's a little bit of a cutout there. You want to come down, make sure that this rotating screwed piece is out of the way, like horizontal, and then you'll hook in those two tabs. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but let me try to get the arms. What's the easiest way to show you? All right, well, let's just do it this way. So push those into tab. And what that horizontal piece does is kind of a locking mechanism. I'm trying to show it's hard to show you guys this on video. I'm trying to get this out of the way. All right, maybe this is the best. Okay, so push this in. And once you have that in, you want to rotate the shorter side so that you see there's a longer edge and a fatter but shorter side here. You want to rotate the fat piece around here, and it locks in like so. So this will sit vertical, the longer, thinner piece. We can deal with the arms now. You want to rotate 180 at the bicep. You want to curl up the fingers. You'll open up the forearm panel, and basically you want to rotate and push out the panel along the back side. You'll see it kind of auto transform and lock into place here. Close up that forearm panel, and then you can stretch out the heel talon, split the two talons on either side here. These are also die cast, this, and this. I don't think the actual foot is, but the toes, the talons are. Like so. Same thing on the other side. So lift up his arm, get in there to his armpit, push that button, rotate this down. Remember to extend, once again, this black swivel piece all the way down. Tab these two pieces in, and then rotate to lock. Ow, this is super tight. Ow, my fingers literally feel like they're gonna break open here. Oh, sorry, this tab wasn't all the way in. Maybe that's why. All right, well, we're gonna skip that because mine is being really stubborn right now, and I can't get it to rotate. Oh, there we go. All right, finally. Same thing with the arm here. Rotate it 180 at the bicep swivel. Curl up the fingers. Open up the panel. Push this all the way through. Close that up. And then bring down the rear talon. Split the four talons. Like so. And then you kind of want to have it positioned like this. Very chicken-legged. You want to have this curled down, basically bent 90 degrees at least. So there we go. I love man chicken, Magnus says. Yeah, this is man chicken. All right, the rest is pretty easy. The arms, you want to fold these out. They come to the side on these ball pegs. Just rotate them out, and then these flip around however you'd like. And this is the weirdest part on the back. So you want to flip the head down. It's on a double hinge. You want to flip this all the way around, like so. And then this is going to tuck in. But before we do that, we need to deal with the chicken face. And this is where I don't know what's going on here. But the previous one, you could slide this in and out pretty easily. But this one, there's collision. And no matter what I try to do, I can't get it to come through without stressing it. I have to like pull up on it, and I'm definitely scratching it, the paint here. Like I can definitely see some of the silver paint. And going backwards as well is even harder. You kind of have to push and pull at the same time. I definitely don't like that. Again, because it's a different molded piece. I think the oh, here, let me show you. So on this one, when you transform it, you can see that the feathers or spikes are curved upwards. So when this folds down, it goes right into place. This one is curved downwards, so it doesn't follow the curve or bend of this flap. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I don't see any way to do it because there's no other articulation points. They're on the same piece, basically. And the horn doesn't articulate at all. So I really don't like that. Just be very careful because, again, you're going to scratch the tip of that. So let's see here. Once you have that cleared, though, the horn cleared, you want to pull forward on this entire neck joint. You can see it's on the sliding joint. Pull forward. Then this black collar splits. Come on. Yeah. And then you can pull out the chicken head. Once that's done, fold this back up and tab it closed. You're going to fold in the head. I actually prefer to tilt it a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier to clear. So once you have this in, these two pegs on the chicken neck have two corresponding holes. Tab that in. This piece we just fold up to cover that gap, and then you rotate the head 180. And with that, you have Deathsaurus or D-Zef Continuum in his chicken mode. He looks very much like that Godzilla villain, Gigan. I think it's Gigan or Gigan. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I think this one looks better than the other one. I really like the look of this in the silver paint. I think he looks more menacing. Aside from the messed up tip that happens in transformation during transformation. If you really wanted, again, you can keep these tabbed in their breast mode, and just tabbed in using the single tab here without the arm tabs. But I mean, they're meant to be just worked like this. Really quickly, I guess we'll do a quick 360 of the bird. Eagle breast, 360 of tiger breast. And then 360 of D-Zef. And again, his wings look really nice. I prefer these wings over the feathered ones. I do still think it looks really kind of gappy here with this just small block as the chest and these gaps. I feel like he looks pretty good overall. If you guys didn't see, they're also remolding this or retooling this into a double dealer, which I did not see coming at all. It kind of works. It is definitely a heavy retool, but you can kind of see his bird mode here. Transfan says, the rare occasion where I mentioned I can't wait for the X-Transbots version. It could be very good. Who knows? Gigan, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Grimlock and Transfan are with me. Gigan. All right. No, Anthony, it's definitely not misassembled. It's just the way this, works. I was wondering if this like maybe collapsed or like articulated, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't move at all. So I don't know what's with it. I feel like there's got to be some kind of trick, but I haven't been able to figure it out. Anyway, let's go into articulation real quick. His head is on a hinge joint for his neck. And then we saw the 360 rotation here. He has another hinge at this neck joint. And then it also has a rotation at the base that goes about like 45 degrees to each side. You can see here. All right. I think I showed the mouth opens and close. I think that's it for the head. His shoulders are on ball pegs, so they get a decent amount of range. You can do kind of some weird poses with them if you want, out like this, out like that. He has a double jointed elbow that allows it to transform. One at the wrist. And then a 360 like mushroom peg. And then each of his claws just rotate on this piece, this swivel. 3 claws here. What else we got? So he can't make use of his waist articulation or his ab crunch because of the way the transformation locks kind of like the upper body, the backpack section here with this armature and going into his legs. So we don't have any waist articulation. His shoulders become his legs in alt mode. So you got the ratchets down here. He can go out yay far depending on what angle he's at. The rotation at the thigh now, which was his bicep, 360. His elbow joint, double jointed elbows now become double jointed knees. He also has that joint here at the ankle, which has about, almost 180 degrees, maybe 160 degrees of movement here. His talons, each of them are in a pin joint. So this one goes back and forward for transformation predominantly, and then his 2 outer talons can separate or spread as needed. And then he has a little toe pivot. I don't even know what you would call this. There. The tail, it rotates on that circular tab piece. Has a decent range. It also has a little waggle here and here, so 2 joints of wiggle, waggle. And then over here, he has another tilt at the tip of his tail. All right, I think I got all the wing articulation is the same, so I'm not going to go over that again. So I think I got all the articulation points here. I don't have any alt modes that I can show them with. Obviously, I would love to show. Well, let me at least just show you the difference in the head sculpt. I think that makes the most sense with this one. I'm not going to do a full transformation, but by and large, besides the wings and the coloring, everything else is the same except the head sculpt. So give me a second, flip this up. Slide this forward. Come on now. Yes, this is one of the downsides of only doing live stream reviews. I can't. Ow, son of a gun! That hurt. That went right underneath my fingernail. That was very painful. The things I do for you guys. All right, so you can see the head sculpt difference here. This looks kind of goofy. Let me tuck his head in so he looks a little less weird. What's going on? Oh, it can't go down because of the, well, here, you get the idea. Here, let's scooch up. So this one versus this one. I prefer the G1 version. The other one looks fine too. It just looks, I don't even know what that looks like. It looks more like a dragon, I suppose, than this chicken Gigan one. All right, let's move this off to the side. Oh man, I'm surprised I'm not bleeding from that stab. All right, what else we got here? All right, I don't know that I'm missing anything. I probably am missing some. I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly because I know I'm stepping on Figure Action's podcast. Somebody said X-Transbots is going to be larger, but can you trust the paint not to chip? That definitely is. Peg choking the space chicken, yeah. All right, so that's really it for his alt mode. I'm going to try to finish this up very quickly. Again, for those of you guys who don't know, and I totally forgot, Thursdays at 9 o'clock is Figure Action Podcast, where with my good buddies, like True Starscreamer, Parts Former, T-Man 978, Joe, who am I missing? Jordan. So definitely check that out if you're not already over there in the second window, but I'm going to head over there after this. All right, so transformation, we just want to flip the head around. We're going to open the collar and not try to stab myself under the fingernail this time. Now I'm being a little too cautious. I'm afraid. Come on. There we go. All right, and we're unpegging this whole section from the neck. We're going to pull out the robot mode head. Again, you have to flip it on that hinge to go 180. We're going to tuck the chicken head in. And that's going to come out the back here. Once we slide the whole neck mechanism. Oh, sorry, I forgot to close this up first. You got to close this collar up, and that will allow you to slide this back. And again, this is the area where I really hate it. So like when I try to close this, it's not even close. It's the hole and the horn is like not even close. So I basically just force it through. That's why I haven't done my official manual yet, is because I'm trying to find out if I'm doing something completely wrong here. I can't foresee how I could be doing something wrong. There's no other points of articulation. So you basically just have to kind of force it through. is way more work and way more stressing than I would really like in any figure. But anyway, I got it through without at least scratching the paint this time. All right, where was I? You can flip this head closed now. We can do that at any point. The arms just fold in. There's tabs, these gray tabs that go into the bicep of the bird. These arms fold up and there's tabs there. Remember to rotate the claws around if you haven't already, and they sit into these grooves here. We're back in Robot Chicken mode. Hopefully Robot Chicken does not sue me for using that term. Unlock each of the legs by rotating this 90 degrees and unlocking it. We'll pull out on the tab, rotate it about 90 degrees, and then once we're cleared here, you want to telescope the joint closed. So right here, we're going to close this up. And then to lock the arm and the shoulder back into place, you just rotate this in. There's a little kind of gap here. You just rotate this up and it locks in. I don't really know how that works, to be perfectly honest. It's some kind of engineering magic, but we rotate that up and it locks into place. Now we transform the arms, rotating the bicep 180. We'll close up the talons here, pull this one forward. We're going to open the front of the forearm up, and then we're going to push in on this back piece, which will help get the fist out, and then you basically want to collapse this entire claw area in. You can see it like that. Close up the forearm. Same thing on the other side. Rotate 180, open up the panel at the front, close up these claws and talons. We're going to push through from the back side, collapse this inward like so. So you can see it's kind of like a parallel now. This side, I needed to push a little bit more. There we go. All right, so now the arms are done. Now we're just dealing with the legs, which are very easy. Split the legs in half, untabbing the tail. While we're at it, let's just transform it. Open up the two halves. Then you got the shield. The legs open up these panels. Pull up on these kneecaps. Remember to do that. You don't want to keep these in and potentially damage when you unfurl the legs. Straighten out the legs completely. Close up these panels. On the front here, you're going to pull forward on the gray heel piece, which will untab it here. Pull this. Oh, sorry. Pull out the heel first. And then when you pull up the die cast piece, you'll reveal that tab in the blue section. That will come all the way back and tab in. Done with that leg. Same thing on this side. Remember to pull the heel out. Pull forward on the die cast piece, gray piece, and then push down on the blue piece. That will tab in there. And then we're basically done. We just need to get the breast masters. So you stay here. Eagle breast. We're going to pull forward. Oh, well, actually, let's fold in the head, collapse the legs, and talons, fold up the tail. Then you want to get these black pieces so that they're basically touching each other like this. Fold up the wings, they tab in, and then rotate. And there's a small tab here that goes into this top notch here. Like so. All right, tiger breast. We're going to rotate the ankles on the hind legs, 180. We're going to curl those up into the thighs. Fold up the tail. We're going to open up the chest panel. And while we fold this in, you need to rotate the hips 180 degrees backwards on the hind legs. Like so. Close this up. And then fold the forelegs all the way back. I actually prefer the look of them with the ankles rotated 180. So you get like the curved front as opposed to the flat front. Like this, I prefer it this way as opposed to out of the box this way where it's a flat front. It's really up to you, I guess. I don't know which one's more quote-unquote accurate. And then just make sure the neck is straightened out, the mouth is closed, and then you can angle these wing pieces. They combine with these two tabs going into eagle breast here with the black pieces facing down. And then once again, these two slots and this slot in the center will correspond to these two tabs and the tab in the center. And there we go. We're back in robot mode for D-Zef Continuum. And that's it for the review. All right. That was actually a little bit longer than I was expecting just because it is a remold, but I always like to do transformation both ways and then show all the details. The only thing I didn't show, again, is the face, because I actually don't know how to swap the face. Let me look at the instructions, because the previous one you had to unscrew it. I'm like 99% sure you had to unscrew the back of the head. Yeah, definitely. All right, so let me look at these instructions, because I should have done my homework on this. But they don't show you how to do it. It just says spare face. Transformation. Yeah, it doesn't tell you. So there's no screw. And oh, man. And you can't just pull it out because of the molding on the face. So I don't know. I mean, it's very clearly tab forward. I wanna guess that there's a screw behind here. All right, I'm gonna have to contact MNC about this too. Again, that's why I haven't done the official manual yet, because I haven't been able to figure out how to transform correctly the backpack with the horn. And now I don't know how to do this either. Yeah, I mean, it has to split, but I think there's a screw, and I think this is a screw cover. All right, well, I'll figure it out, and then I'll make a post or something like that. Maybe I'll do a quick YouTube short, or I'll just make a post on Facebook or something like that to tell you guys and give you an update on how to replace the stock face with the smiling face. But yeah, that's it. I'll really quickly take a look at the chat and see if I missed any questions, comments, any comparisons you want to see. But otherwise, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have some weird conversations going on while I talk about this. Breast masters are the best masters. Can I pin this? I want to pin comments. I can't. Lame. Oh, poll results. Oh, yeah. So I did do a poll. I always forget. Thanks for the reminder. I was asking in the poll, in the live stream chat, whether you prefer the D-Zef Continuum, the G1 version that we're looking at today, or the IDW version. We'll close the poll now. And the results are 60% to 40%. 60% prefer the Continuum G1 version, which is where I'm at. But more evenly split than I would think. I actually thought that we'd be more lopsided on the G1 version, especially with the fact that you get both breast masters. But again, I do like the colors of the IDW one. Like, it's very, very comic-ish. So I can definitely understand. It definitely fits really well with the rest of the MMC line, which is, their own scale. It's very interesting that they do Continuum, because it doesn't fit with Masterpiece scale. I guess it fits with more of the, mainline G1-ish scale. So if you're a mainline Hasbro figure collector, this might work well with your latest legacy figures and stuff like that. Who knows if we'll get a Deathsaurus anytime soon from Hasbro. There is hope, I guess, since they did have Star Saber and Victory Leo coming in with Hasbro Pulse, so maybe Deathsaurus is making its way through the main line. I'm probably not going to hold my breath for that. But as always, if enjoyed the review, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't. I'm like 30 subs away from getting to that 8,000 mark, so I would love to get there. If you guys have really enjoyed it, or if you're catching it on the rewind and have any questions, leave a comment below. I do my best to answer all comments or respond to all comments, whether they're words of positivity or corrections or questions. I do my best to try to answer those. Yeah, I don't know what it is with this right hand. Something about the molding of this right hand is just slightly off. I mean, you can work it, and it ends up holding just fine, but it's not as easy as the other hand. All right, so I'm going to let everyone go. If you guys are not watching Figure Action Podcast on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock, please head over there. Like I said, a lot of my good buddies are on that. I'm also going to be doing my Chatterday Jeopardy, the 4th round of that, and that will also feature 2 of the Figure Action Podcast members, the last 2 that have not been on the Jeopardy yet, which will be Joe and Partsformer. They'll be going head-to-head with an unknown 3rd contestant at this time, and then I'll have a round of champions. So out of the 4 rounds that I've done, all 4 of them will come back for a championship round to win a prize, which has yet to be announced. But that's it for today, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Always love doing the live streams for you guys. I'll be back hopefully sooner rather than later. With that, have a good one all.